October of 1958, NASA formally organized Project Mercury with a mission to investigate man's reaction to this new environment.
It is one of the largest buildings in the world by volume, and is the place where NASA completes the final assembly of its rockets before launch.
They sit there being judgmental because you're trying things, and they just want you to settle and do the right thing. So get a good job, don't slack off. Wake up every morning, make a good impression on your boss. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and when you're making money, make sure you don't spend it too soon.
வெல்கம் பேக் கைஸ். ஸோ நம்ம நாசாவோட சீரியஸ் கண்டினியூ பண்ணலாம். ஸோ ப்ரீவியஸ் வீடியோஸ் பார்க்கலன்னா அதை பார்த்துட்டு வாங்க. நம்ம இப்போ பஸ் டூர் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணியாச்சு. ஸோ ஆக்சுவலாக அந்த ட்ரைவ் பண்ணுற லேடி வந்து ஃபுல்லாக எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுவாங்க. நம்மளை வந்து வெஹிக்கிள் அசம்பிளி ஸ்டேஷன் கிட்டே கூட்டிகிட்டு போவாங்க. இன்னும் மோஸ்ட் இம்பார்ட்டண்ட் அப்போலோ சாட்டர்ன் 5 ஓட விசிட்டர் காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் கூட்டிகிட்டு போவாங்க. ஸோ அதெல்லாம் இந்த அப்கமிங் வீடியோஸில் பார்ப்பீங்க. இந்த வீடியோஸ் பார்த்துட்டு வாங்க, நிறையா இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்ஸ் உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்கும் ரிகார்டிங் இந்த வெஹிக்கிள் அசம்பிளி பில்டிங்கு and crawler vehicle pati.
As we make our way along, we'll be driving through a national wildlife refuge. You'll see a lot of green. All the NASA property is located within the National Wildlife Refuge. And also, as we're driving along, I will play some videos that NASA's put together. And with that being said, I'll start those and get you up there quickly and safely. Enjoy the ride and the air conditioning. Thank you.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We have pondered our place amongst the stars since the dawn of humankind. We've looked at the stars with wonder and amazement, their glow guiding our travel for centuries. The more we learn about our universe, the more questions we have.
I'm Emily Calandrelli, and today you'll be following me behind the gates on this exclusive bus tour of Kennedy Space Center. Our journey will take us past active facilities and end at the visitor complex's own Apollo Saturn V Center.
But before we begin this journey, just like every NASA mission, our number one goal is to return home safely. So always stay seated while the bus is in motion. Please, no food or drinks on the bus with the exception of water.
Too much.
Please keep conversation to a minimum so others may hear and enjoy the tour. No photography is permitted at the security gates, but there will be plenty of photo opportunities during the tour.
This rocket that you'll see standing tall in front of KSC's badging station is the Mercury Redstone rocket. It represents NASA's earliest efforts to send humans into space. These Redstone rockets were formerly ballistic missiles provided to NASA by the U.S. Army. In October of 1958, NASA formally organized Project Mercury with a mission to investigate man's reaction to this new environment and safely recover the capsule and its pilot. Man rating for human spaceflight on what was previously a ballistic missile was no easy task. After several modifications and test flights, a Mercury capsule carrying Ham, a chimpanzee, was successfully launched and recovered on January 31st, 1961. Just months later, on May 5th, astronaut Alan Shepard launched on a Mercury Redstone rocket, becoming the first American in space.
Hi, I'm Janet Petro, and welcome to NASA's John F. Kennedy Space Center, where NASA astronauts have ventured forth on flights of exploration since the 1960s. And what an exciting time to visit our multi-user spaceport. Through our Commercial Crew program, we are sending astronauts to the International Space Station from American soil for the first time since the Space Shuttle program ended in 2011. We're continuing to launch new research experiments and supplies to the space station with our commercial resupply services and launching the most technologically advanced scientific instruments to date into space through our Launch Services program. This all culminates in our ultimate mission, the Artemis program, where NASA will return to the moon, this time with the first woman and first person of color, and continue on return to Mars. In all our history, there's been one common theme woven throughout our DNA. It's our insatiable desire to explore beyond our home planet in our never-ending quest to expand our knowledge of the universe. As you venture behind the gates, you'll find a community of the most talented, dedicated, motivated workforce anywhere in the world who believe in the unlimited potential of space exploration. This is an active spaceport where new things are happening every day. You never know what you might see, so enjoy your tour.
Okay, I will mention real quick, like, once I make this turn, we are 4 miles or 6.5 kilometers from the vehicle assembly building, even though it looks closer.
You are now approaching the Vehicle Assembly Building, or as NASA calls it, the VAB. It is one of the largest buildings in the world by volume, and is the place where NASA completes the final assembly of its rockets before launch. The sheer scale of this building is hard to grasp, even when you're right next to it.
Do you ever feel really small when you think about space? What about when you're standing next to a skyscraper or a really big bridge? Well, I feel about as small as an ant right now. I'm standing inside the Vehicle Assembly Building trying to grasp how large it really is in here. It has 4 bays. Each bay has 2 large horizontal doors below it and 7 smaller vertically opening doors above it, tall enough to fit the world's largest rocket through. In fact, these are the largest doors in the world.
Construction of the VAB required 65,000 cubic yards of concrete, 45,000 steel beams, 1 million steel bolts amounting to almost 100,000 tons of steel. Notice the flag painted on the outside of the VAB? It's the size of a 21-story building. The blue section alone is the size of an NBA basketball court. Each star is 6 feet across, and each red and white stripe is wide enough for this bus to drive down. And the entire VAB? It's so huge that the Roman Colosseum would fit on the roof with room to spare for a parking lot. By volume, the VAB can fit 3.5 Empire State Buildings, and it would take 250 billion ping pong balls to fill it. It was built in the 1960s for the Apollo program. Every Saturn V rocket that sent humans to the moon was assembled right here. Every Space Shuttle mission also assembled within these same walls. After the Space Shuttle program, a major renovation to the inside of this building began to accommodate NASA's next generation of rockets, the Space Launch System, or SLS. Lockheed Martin has developed a capsule called Orion that will sit atop the SLS rocket. This capsule is designed to facilitate human exploration of the moon and eventually Mars.
Back in November. And on the right side's where the crawler transporters are kept when they're not being used.
Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon